Right. Good morning, everybody. This is a virtual IMD. This is on the government on the consultation on ending the sale of petrol, diesel, and hybrid cars and vans by 2035 or earlier. Present in the meeting, we have Gregor Murray, who's the executive member. We've got Officer Wise, we have Tabitha Shell, who's the policy officer, and myself, Callum Wernham. I'm the Democratic Services officer. Also in attendance is Pauline Jorgensen, who is the executive member for Highways and Transport. So I'm going to hand over to Tabitha just to give a quick overview of the recommendation and report. Tabitha?
Yes, so the consultation response states that the council supports bringing the phase-out date forward to 2035 from 2040 for the phase-out of petrol, diesel, and hybrid vehicles. We have also urged for more ambition in line with the climate emergency declaration and our target to be net carbon zero by 2030. So the consultation has asked for views on 5 different areas: the phase-out date, the definition of what should be phased out, any barriers that may exist, industry and society and the impacts on industry and society, and also any government support that will be required. So an overview on that is that we have called for a parallel shift to more investment in sustainable public transport and active transport, as well as investment in feasibility projects of new forms of sustainable transport. We have recognised several barriers that exist, namely to less affluent communities, electricity supply, which will need to be met with low carbon generation. There'll be a serious shock to the business community and industry, for example, in the automotive industry, and that there'll also be a big impact to developers and new developments. We have called for clear guidance and more financial support from the government, and we've also asked for EV infrastructure installation to be enshrined by law to provide a new revenue stream for local authorities. Research suggests that a shift to EVs could cut the UK's emissions by 12%, and recent calculations in Woking Borough suggest that our target to have 50% of our vehicles on the road to be electric by 2030, as in the Climate Emergency Action Plan, has the potential to tackle 8% of our carbon footprint in the borough. So that's the general overview. Any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Tabitha, I just wanted to say thank you for the work that has gone into this. I'm supportive of the response that we're giving. I'm particularly pleased to see that we've acknowledged the impact that this is likely to have on our less affluent communities and our business community. I think we've got to ensure that no one is priced out of adopting electric vehicles. We need to find a way to guarantee that nobody can say no just because it's way too expensive for them. I'm also really pleased to see that we're calling on the government to support the installation of the electric vehicle infrastructure, because clearly we're going to need help in making that happen. And I'm pleased that the council has made so much progress already in moving towards electric vehicle, with the drafting of the borough council EV strategy ongoing at the moment. The working group that's been set up on feasibility required for electric vehicles, and the work that we're already doing on solar farms. I think Pauline might have a couple of questions or a couple of points that she would like added, so I'll hand over to her right now.
Hi, thanks, Gregor. Yeah, there's 2 things I'd like to be added. I'd like the government to legislate to protect the availability of petrol and diesel supplies for drivers of old cars. I think making people not able to refuel would be unreasonable for some of the people who can't afford new vehicles, and also people with classic vehicles. And if we don't legislate, then I think what will happen is that petrol stations will phase it out pretty quickly, because it'll be more trouble than it's worth. So I think we need to do that. I also think we need to say the government needs to be able to move the date back if there isn't a British manufacturer producing vehicles with a range sufficient to get to Scotland without recharging, or with a recharge time of more than 10 minutes, if that would be an alternative. So we either need fast charging, a different solution like power cells, or a longer range. I'd like those two things added, please.
Thank you, Pauline.
Gregor, any other points that you wish to raise, or clarifications, queries?
No, thank you, Carl.
Okay, that's fine. So what I'll do is, so I've got those two jotted down. So just in summary, they were government to legislate to protect the supply of petrol and diesel for existing and classic cars, etc. And then the other one that Pauline raised was to that the date could be moved back if there wasn't a British manufacturer in place with the capability for fast charging, or a vehicle that with a range of about 500 miles. So those are the additions, and then the recommendation, as in the report, is that yourself, Gregor, approve the consultation response set out in Appendix 1 for submission to the OLEV. So with those two additions, are you happy to accept the recommendation?
Connor, one thing, you need to define what fast charging is.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'll end up with people thinking 3 hours is fast.
So fast charging, you stated 10 minutes, I believe.
I think 10 minutes would be reasonable.
Gregor, is that okay?
Yeah.
10 minutes sounds pretty fast to me.
Okay. So with all that, are you happy to accept that recommendation, Gregor?
I am happy to accept the recommendation.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So that will be a formal decision subject to the normal call-in procedures. The decision notice will get signed at a date in the future, but the decision will be made as normal now. So thank you, everybody. That comes to the end of this IMD. Thank you all for attending, and I'll bring the meeting to a close now.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Callum, as a matter of interest, is that recorded or broadcast?
The whole meeting will be, and it will be available on YouTube.
Okay, great. Send us a link. Thank you.
Will do. Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Gregor.